afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, and welcome to Brown Skin, the clear and uncut conversations about us. Today's guest is cosmetologist Amber Smith. What's going on in the ATL first, Amber?
Hey y'all, ATL is popping.
It's popping, still popping, even with COVID, huh?
Man, it's way popping. Like it is. Every restaurant I go into is packed. Like there's a line. It's really overpopulated. You know what I mean? Everybody's moving here. It's definitely Black Hollywood, absolutely. And hair and makeup are like the number one thing here. Like everybody, it's just like Hollywood. Like everybody has to look good. So they keep their lashes on no matter what day of the week. Their hair look good. They're getting microblading now, which I'm going to take that class.
Okay.
And yeah, that's what's going on in Atlanta. You know, there's movie. You know, you can be a chance to be in a movie. There's celebrities everywhere. So
I'm gonna have to come when it's a casting call. I'm gonna have to come down to the ATL. I'm like, Amber, hit you up. Amber, I'm on my way down there. See what's going on.
I'm telling you, it's going down because that's what they're doing. Tyler Perry Studio is like East Point, so I'm not far from there. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Mondays, usually cosmetologists are off, so I thank you for coming on Brown Skin today. I truly appreciate you. And today's topic is edge control, hair, preserving your edges. Right. Mm-hmm. And I need to talk about, we need to talk about that. How do you save your edges? And I'm going to tell you, the reason I came up with this one is because I seen somebody and she ain't had no sides. Like she had the main course up top, but when she lifted up, she ain't had no sides. And I was just appalled. I was like, what good is a meal if you ain't got no sides? I'm talking about both sides was empty. And it's happening more often than not. What's going on, Amber?
Well, I noticed it a long time ago when I was younger and I was a receptionist that a lot of people that were getting relaxers didn't have edges.
Okay.
Then it kind of like, you know, when people went natural, people were keeping their edges, you know, preserving them. Mm-hmm. But then you have to think about people that get wigs, braids, anything like that you have to put any tension or anything on your edges, right? So you have to learn how to, for one, you have to make sure that you go to somebody professional to get services done, okay? They're losing their edges basically because your edges are like the finest part of your hair, okay? So it's soft right there. So if you're putting like, say if somebody got a wig installed, now the wig glue, or even quick weave, like I have in my hair right now, if you go in and just keep regluing, you're going to pull your hair out on your edges. I mean, it can happen on any part of your hair, but that's what's going to go first.
So is that really like baby hair? You know, when you say you lay your baby hair down, is it soft like baby hair?
It's more fine. Yeah, it's more fine. Or it can be coarse hair. You know what I mean? But that's right there on your edges, they're going to slide out quick. And it's all from tension or regluing or putting too much glue and not getting it taken out properly, not getting it shampooed and conditioned. You have to take care of your hair, even if you do want to wear any type of extension, and braids included. People don't know how not to put too much tension on your hair, on your braids. Mm-hmm. So if you have people putting too much tension on your edges, all you're going to do is slide them right off.
Okay.
The braids they're braiding too tight. You know what I mean? So those are the things that cause your edges to come out.
Okay. Again, thank you on your off day. What you babysitting?
No, I'm actually over my friend's house. I just
okay.
And yeah.
So see, I love it, man. I love the love. I truly appreciate it. Over your friend's house, like, let me hurry up and do this show real quick, huh? Appreciate it.
I got you. You know I got you, Mel.
Appreciate it. Okay, so the tension. Now, before there was a time where a lot of people weren't wearing wigs. Now wigs, I mean, they're getting younger and younger and younger with the wigs.
Right.
So are wigs healthy? Because some people wear wigs so that they don't damage their hair.
So those lace, like, really wigs, lashes, all those things have been out for a long time. They go back to Egypt.
Yes.
Okay. But these lace fronts that people are wearing, they, whatever they do with celebrities, it becomes mainstream for everybody.
Okay.
But the reason why they made lace were for people that had like alopecia or cancer or things of that nature where their hair would come out. Mm-hmm. They would put those on there and it would appear that the hair is coming out your scalp. Well, we started doing it too. But we didn't do it properly. You know what I mean? We weren't covering it up. People, I heard one person say they shaved off their edges. I don't know why you would do that. I guess just so you wouldn't see any hair or anything. So they weren't protecting it, and because it wasn't made for them. So now they've come up with a way where you can protect it. And it's all it is stocking cap, a ball cap. You know what I mean? They put it on there and protect your edges. So now that's why everybody's wearing them. They're easy. They're not really even getting sew-ins like that. Like down here, like even my daughters wear them and do them. I haven't learned how to do them yet.
The lace fronts?
I didn't like them. Yeah, I didn't like them at first. I'm starting to like them now because I see them installed properly. And my daughters have their edges. You know what I mean? But they go somewhere professionally to get them done. You have to protect them. You can't just, you know what I mean, just put it on there. And that glue is stronger than hair glue. You know how hair glue is strong.
Uh-huh. So it's a different type of glue?
It's a different type of glue. It's a stronger hold.
Okay, see, that's why I was like, let me call somebody. I'm still stuck. Look, my license is in escrow. Yeah, I got to get down there to the next hair show since we didn't have one last year just to stay current. But
for sure,
I was so intrigued by it. And I'm looking at, like you said, like the stocking caps. Okay, I put the stocking cap on and then I'm using the glue, but isn't, because aren't they wrapping the hair underneath the stocking cap?
They're braiding it. They're braiding the hair down.
Okay, so we braiding like we used to install extensions.
Yes, like
when we was the sew-in. But the glue, it seeps through the stocking, don't it? I mean, I'm confused. Like some hair has to be damaged at some point, I would think.
Well, if you take it out properly and if it's installed properly, because it's really not supposed to be all the way on your edges back here. Like it's a lace front, so it has a lace piece in the front.
Okay, I saw that.
So it's basically supposed to go on your very edges, so you would protect it. You can protect that, and if you take it out properly, you will not lose your edges. Okay, it's going to lift up. When it lifts up, people take their own. They do it on their own and get glue and they re-glue it. And they're not re-gluing it right or they put too much glue.
Okay.
And they're losing their hair. So my daughter has an appointment. She had hers on for 2 weeks and started lifting up. She just made an appointment for Wednesday.
Oh, okay. To go back instead of just gluing it back down saying, okay, well, I could go another 2 weeks.
Yes.
Okay, so your suggestion is if you are getting the lace front, don't try to sit there and glue it on yourself. Just go and just get proper hair care.
Professional. Get a professional stylist to install it. Look at their work. Ask them questions. Make sure they explain to you the whole process. Because maybe it's not for you. You know what I mean? Okay. Everything is not for everyone. But if you want it installed properly, that's what I would suggest.
Okay.
So you go to a professional stylist. With braids, also. Braids everybody feels like they can braid. I'm not a braider, so you've never seen me do a head full of braids. I'm not going to. Mm-hmm. It just takes too long for me. But I've seen people braid too tight. And when you braid too tight, you pull your edges out. That's the first thing that's going to go. If your hair is coarser, if it's a coarser texture, it's going to really come out. Like my hair is soft, it's fine. I have curly hair, so my edges really I don't lose my edges when I get braids.
Because they slide.
I used to get micros a lot. They just kind of slide on out. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It slides on back. But if you have coarse hair and it's a really tight curl, it's going to pop off.
Oh.
It's going to pop. Yeah, it's going to pop off.
Like Stevie Wonder's.
Like, you see his hair?
Oh.
It's gone. What's that? I want to take that off. I want to take that off.
But he can't see it. He don't see what we see.
He can feel his hands work. You can touch that. I know you know. Your hair used to be right here, right, Stevie? Now it's back here. You like that? I know you can't see it, but it's not nice.
Probably because his braids used to look real tight.
They were good, but you gotta, you keep on doing that.
Tight fly, but tight physically, like literally tight.
You gotta change up. You have to change, and you can't just keep doing the same thing over. That's repetition. It's going to eventually damage your hair. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Even like me, before I went to hair school, and sometimes after, I'm gonna tell y'all a little secret. I used to reglue my hair. So since I was younger, I didn't lose it completely. But there would be times where I had spots. So like, what I do? I ripped it out. People take their hair out and like, you have to have an appointment tomorrow. Instead of shampooing their hair, putting conditioner on there, taking the proper steps to remove their hair, they just pull it out. Well, that's gonna make sure you have no edges. That's guaranteed.
I remember it used to be a thing where if you used the glue and it wasn't an actual sew-in, we would use hairspray, oil sheen. And let it slide out and just keep spraying the oil sheen or
oil takes it off. With lace fronts, you use alcohol.
But I would think that would dry it out.
Well, it just helps to remove the glue off your lace and off your hair. Yeah,
kind of like that girl with that, because alcohol was one of the ingredients that surgeon used for that Gorilla Glue girl. So it breaks down the bonds.
Yeah. Yep. It breaks it down. Absolutely. Just like oil does for hair glue. Breaks it on down, and then conditioner. And you know what else works that a lot of people don't know, but it's a Dawn dishwashing liquid.
Fights grease. That commercial saying fight grease now.
And it'll take out the regular hair glue, like the little black hair glue. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, because some people was using that for their lashes.
I hate that.
To keep them on longer.
I would never.
Well, I know you would never. I'm like, I know you would.
I'm not doing that to clients just for the simple fact that it has lye in it. We used to talk about this at Upscale.
Okay.
Leslie and I and Kelly, we did not put eyelashes on people with hair glue. I'm not doing that. And if they want
in their lash glue? Like, it's lash glue and hair glue.
Yeah, they're two different things.
So go ahead and tell me about this. So people will request hair glue for their lashes?
They would rather have hair glue because it gets tacky faster. It's going to stay on your eye. You don't have to worry about your lashes coming off. Your strips will be on there. But the thing about it is, it's going to start, well, for one, it's dangerous because it's live by your eye. So that's just really not good. And then on top of that, it balls up in a couple days. It's horrible.
So they're all right, as long as they lashes hanging. You can have the balls all day long.
I don't like that. It's really gross. And I use.
They looking like eye lice. They were like, what you got? Fleas on your eyes?
Then they start losing it. Yeah, and you can definitely get things like that. You can get eye infections. You know what I mean? All those things can happen to you.
Okay. Let's go here with the lash glue and the hair glue. When people come they go into a salon, and to ask somebody for that, wouldn't you be held accountable and responsible for that, being licensed if something were to occur?
Absolutely, unless you make them sign a consent form.
Okay.
You can always protect yourself legally. If with anything, we sign a lot of things. Sometimes we don't even know what we're signing. You sign for contracts. There's always fine print. You sign for everything. You know what I mean? So if somebody said, "Well, I don't want eyelash glue. I don't like it. I want hair glue." Okay, well, here's a paper that's saying that you give consent. You want me to do this to you. You're asking for this.
And you're going to pay me to destroy your eyelashes.
Just in case you try to say, I did it, no, here's the paperwork. You did it. You wanted it. I just applied it because you asked for it.
A service.
This is the service that you asked for. I don't even really do it, though. I won't even do it.
Good, very good.
I'm not putting that on them.
Very good. That's nuts. Now back to this, to the edges. The edge control. We got to control our edges. Now you were talking
about another thing too, a relaxer. Go ahead.
Before we move to the relaxer, the braids. So yes, there's a lot of people. You down there, you were in the ATL, so I know they have tons of professional braiders down there. Mm-hmm. And they have. I remember. Don't quote me on this, listening audience. Oh, and if you have questions for Amber or you want to call in and make a comment, do what you need to do. You can call in at 619-902-2287. 619-902-2287. Leave a comment. We want to know what's on your mind. And if you have a question for Amber, please feel free to call in and ask. That's what she's here for. Now, the professional braiders, you didn't have to have a license back then, and I was licensed, back in 91. You didn't have to have a license to do hair. You can open up a braid shop. Remember, they used to just come open up the little braid shop. People went and got their hair done. They had 2 people on their hair, braiding it real quick in a million braids, and then they were done. Now, what do you recommend as far as for the braids? What's your recommendation for braids?
Well, you definitely. So when I went to cosmetology school, you had to get your license to braid here.
Okay.
I went to cosmetology school in Atlanta.
Okay.
And you had to get a license, a full license. You had to go the same time. You had to do everything we did. So I would definitely go to a professional braider to get your braids done, to a shop, because they should know how much tension to put on your edges. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So they won't slide out. But they should do consultations also. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Before you do that. Then when you're getting braids, you should take those out too at a certain time, at a certain point. Anything that you leave in your hair or even on your skin too long, it's gonna cause damage to it, regardless. You know what I mean? You keep on pulling it up, and you got your braids are sliding back, but you still pulling it up. You're putting too much tension on it. Even if you put a ponytail in your hair too much, you can leave the middle. You can start losing your middle and your edges.
Yes. I learned that with the ponytail. I mean, look, because I always slap mine in a ponytail. You see how it's like they about to be gone. Let's put a bang over there. I'm like, swing that over to this side. Like I'm gonna have to change my side.
Cover it up. Because this hair right here is the finest hair that you're gonna have. Like this hair right here. Like I have a stocking cap. I have a quick weave, so I have a stocking cap. I have liquid cap, which is something that protects your hair from hair glue that you put on your hair before you get a quick weave. Okay. So I won't lose my edges because they've been very thin at times. You know what I mean? They're already fine. My hair is fine. So
and see, that's how. Yeah. That's what I got. See, that's how you could kind of like see. I'm like, bear, I ain't trying to look like that. Go. Right. Some of the stuff that I seen. Go ahead.
Going natural too can help you, like say, before you start having real heavy damage. If you're natural, you're kind of not really getting. I mean, and this is without the extensions. This is just your regular hair. Because people lose their edges with anything. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's medication. You know what I mean? Like you can't. It's not all hair services. There's medication that can make you lose your hair.
Now let's move to the relaxer where you were going. Let me follow you there. So for the relaxers, you were saying you can lose your edges there, right?
Yes.
Okay, so how do we prevent that from happening?
Well, again, go to a professional. Because people put relaxers in, they think they know what they're doing because they're watching in the mirror. So if I'm putting a relaxer in a client's hair and they think that they see something, but they don't know what they're looking at. They might think that they see me putting the relaxer on all their hair. I'm not doing that. And I'm also starting from the nape of your neck. You know what I mean? I'm not going to go, that's of course hair on your neck. Everybody knows. Martin called them BDBs. That's, you're going to start right there. You know, you can sometimes change the sides or change where you start, but that front, this right here, that should always be your last thing to relax. And some people just put it all everywhere and just start here and smooth. They're doing that.
Oh, the smooth. Yes. Talk about I want my edges straight.
I want my hair straight, girl. I need my edges straight. So they smooth it to death. The next thing you know, over time they smoothing it and doing it all because they don't want to pay for that part. It's going to put the relaxer in and come get service. You understand? And
Okay.
then you're going to pull your edges are going to be gone. And you could possibly lose hair everywhere because you're over processing it. So it'll stop your hair growth. You know what I mean? Your hair will not grow down. It's going to grow because it's going to grow unless you just damage the follicles. And that's what happens to your edges. Your follicles get damaged. But it'll grow, but it won't grow down. It'll grow out. And they really won't have any length. And they don't get it cut like they're supposed to. So, you know what I mean? But their edges, though, they're just overdoing it. They're overdoing it.
Okay. Dang it.
Yeah, less tension. Getting it removed properly.
So what is it now? What's the rate now for before it was like every 6 to 8 weeks people were coming back getting retouch on their relaxers. What is the span
it's
now?
The same thing.
Is it okay?
It's about 8 weeks. Yeah, it's the same thing. Just because that's the time when you'll have new growth.
Okay, so that's the same. All right. Now for those,
I usually don't even do relaxers on people with length anymore. Well, no, you don't. I usually do it if they have short hair. I will do a relaxer. Other than that, if you want length, I'm not doing it.
So you just deal with just the natural hair?
I just don't relax. I relax short hair. Just because you're cutting it off, you know what I mean? So it's a possibility it'll grow back. But if you don't, if it's long and you keep on applying it, I don't know. I think they kind of like change the chemistry in relaxers. That's my personal opinion. I'm not saying don't quote me anybody. But
no, I think you might be on to something. I think
I've seen that. I've looked at it.
Because it's not the same. Like I usually get a relaxer once a year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because of a hairstyle that I want. I used to love my little wrap. I still be wrapping it up. I just blow dry and wrap it. And I felt like it's not the same. Mm-mm. And I shampooed my hair after the relaxer, and my hair felt very different. It was like something was still on there.
Right.
And I kept shampooing, and I got a conditioning shampoo that I did, and I left that on there for probably like 15 minutes with the suds just to make sure that everything was off after the neutralizing shampoo. And I think the chemistry probably did change.
I mean, I remember working, and before I got my license, I was 22. I was working as a receptionist, and I would see, and even younger, going to the salon, and women would have length. They would have long hair with relaxers. They would be long, it would grow out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then later on, I started seeing it, and I'm watching people's hair, and their hair is like dying. I'm like, your hair, it's almost like you got to cut it every time. And you should trim it, but not a whole haircut. And it just seemed like it was getting thinner and thinner, like throughout their hair. And I'm like, I think these relaxers, I just think they're different. So I talked to a couple of cosmetologists, my niece being one, and she felt the same way. They have changed the chemistry. I know they can. I mean, I can't prove it. I don't have any documentation to say, but I just see how
the texture changed, and you've been doing hair for a long time, so you can feel it.
Their hair is different. I can look at it, and I'm like, if you want length, I don't think you should do that. And then it depends on where you live. Like in Youngstown, we have hard water, so it dries your hair out. Mm-hmm. If you're not putting that moisture back in your hair, because relaxers give you more moisture for some reason than when your hair is natural, and probably because it's our texture. Curly hair gets drier faster. Okay. So if their hair is getting a relaxer, and if they're doing it at home, and they're not putting the proper conditioning in it and oil, it's going to break it off. It's going to thin it out. And who knows what their relaxer, if they're going to the beauty supply store and get a relaxer, because we order from a distributor. So we don't have the same relaxers. You can't just go get the relaxers that we use, the systems, because we use the whole system. We're not just using this relaxer, we're using the whole conditioning.
The whole line.
The whole line. And they're going to get, some of them like, well, I just need it just for me. And I'm going to put it in my hair. I'm going to leave it in my hair. And they don't know what they're doing. So they're damaging their hair even more. Sometimes those relaxers are old on those shelves.
Now that's why I was going to ask you next. old relaxers can take your edges out, well, your hair out, correct?
Absolutely. Anything expired, isn't good for you. You understand? Everything has a shelf life.
How do the layperson know that the relaxer is expired? Because the average layperson is just going to go, okay, and assume, since it's on the shelf, at the beauty supply store or a beauty store, whatever, the place that sells the product. Mm-hmm. We trust, as a consumer, we trust that they're going to do the right thing and not put expired things out, just like the food on the shelves. So exactly. How do we, being the consumer, go and check to see if a relaxer is expired? Where is that located? Like on milk, it could say sell by, boom. Where's it located on, like, the product on relaxers?
I've never seen it. I've never seen it on there.
Me either. That's why I asked you. Like, where?
And they're not going to tell you. We've had this on the shelf for however many. I mean, that could be there for years. You know what I mean? Before we know. I don't know if you over-ordered and you have all this relaxer that you've been sitting in the back forever and letting it sitting and bring it out when you're ready because you want to make money off of us. Because remember, brown skin don't have a lot of ownership in beauty supply stores. I've seen them come up down here, various places in the South, but the majority of them are not us. They really don't even know about our hair. You understand? They don't know. They don't have our hair. Mm-hmm. So you don't need a cosmetology license to open a beauty supply store.
Oh, you just open it on up and throw some stuff and buy from who?
It's a business. You don't even have to have one to have a salon. You don't have to be a cosmetologist. You can be a business owner and just own this business. And collect roof rent and take care of the building. You know what I mean?
Oh, right. Mm-hmm. Now, consultations. How important is it how important is it to have a consultation with a new client?
Extremely. Like what I'm gonna tell you is that Upscale I was blessed to work there because the people that were there, Leslie, Barry, they made sure they groomed you. We talked about these things over and over again. And then they tell you in school. Cosmetology tells you in your book, consultation. You have to have a consultation because we don't know what you're doing at home for one to your hair. We don't know what medications you're on that could be affecting your hair and your skin. We need to know all these things. If you put color in your hair before this and then if you put a dark color on your hair for years and you want to go blonde. We're not doing that in one day. But if I don't know that, you know what I mean, and you didn't tell me, and I do it, and your hair is green or something because you didn't tell me what you put in your hair, it's going to look bad on me. You know what I mean? We have to ask questions. They can ask questions. We have to tell them what they can get with their hair type, if they can even get the service that they're asking for. Because some people, they want things that their hair can't support. Maybe their hair is too fine. You know what I mean? Maybe their hair is too thick. Mm-hmm. So sometimes you have to sit there because they don't know. They're coming to ask, like a doctor. If I'm going to a doctor and I'm asking you things, I would expect you to tell me the correct answer because I don't know. I'm not a doctor. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So we're cosmetologists. We have to keep on renewing our license. We have continual education for a reason.
Big time. They serious about it too.
Yeah, and Ohio is very big on it. So if you come into my salon and you want this service, that consultation is getting done first. I don't even care if it's 10 minutes before if you're a walk-in. We still got to talk about it because that's the misconception. Sometimes people don't do a walk-in. You have to. And you can actually let them walk in and then they can schedule. You're supposed to. This is what I was taught too. You're supposed to, if they walk in, you're not supposed to give them a relaxer or anything like that. You should just give them a regular service like shampoo and flat iron or whatever. You know what I mean? So you can see the condition of their hair too, because people don't tell you
everything
what's really going on. And water kind of tell you what's going on with the hair when you put it on there.
Child. Yeah, that water will tell you. And them suds, if you got to use, why did I have to shampoo your hair 3 times before the water actually was able to cut through your hair? What's on here?
They need a clarifying shampoo. And they don't know that either. They just go on to Walmart or Dollar General, I've seen them do anything and get even Sally's. I mean, I would only go to Sally's for certain things. I don't go there for everything. I go to Cosmo Pro or deal with my distributor because it's professional. And so they need that clarifying shampoo that gets off anything that's on your hair. Okay. Any kind of oil, any kind of dirt, any kind of, things like that. Not chemical, but it'll clear your hair. Then you can put like a moisturizing shampoo on it.
Okay. For me, I'm a lotion girl. You know that because you used to do my hair. Mm-hmm. And I would put me some lotion on my hair, throw it back in the ponytail, and be done. And I went to, shout out to you, In and Out Beauty, Yatasha. And I never forget, she was like, Mel, what do you have on your hair? I said, baby lotion. Because of that very reason. Like the water wasn't going through because it was so thick on my hair. Like, I got to go to work, boom, boom. Pull it back. Because I wanted to keep my edges. That's one. That's why I used the lotion. And I know it's not all lotion is not good lotion to put on your hair. Let me just say that. Because I didn't know what gel to use to keep my edges, because there was some gels that was just taking them smooth off. And like what Kelly say, you or Kelly, which one of y'all was like, you need your edges to keep your crown up?
Right, both of us probably, because you do. It's gonna slide. There's nothing to hold it. It's coming off. Hilarious. Your crown is gonna fall on the ground. If you don't, yeah, and like so like even like the brown gel that people use,
yeah, that Pro Style one. I remember that was like the favorite one for everybody because it was like hard,
very hard to the point where it can pull your hair out too. With all that dirt and caked up, like you cannot leave that on your hair and keep putting it on. It has protein in it, which makes it even harder, and it's terrible.
And that's probably...
if you just keep on doing that, it's going to ruin your hair.
So we got to look at the ingredients.
That's why they have edge control now. It's kind of a better alternative than gel. You use gel for certain things, but not like we used to. And that's the thing about anything, but beauty too. Things become innovative, and you change formulas, and you change chemistries, and you change, And
then that blows. Now, I use that edge control, but that edge control, I don't know what happens. Like, it'll be down, but mine turn white like Crisco. I don't want to be with no white wax type stuff on my edges.
Do you, me neither, I hate that. Do you, and some of my clients didn't like that.
Okay.
They weren't going for, they didn't want to, if they had a relaxer, or if they had, even natural, and people want to lay edges down. That's mine would be like, no.
That's
me. Want the edge control. It turns because it's kind of like it gets thick, and if you keep reapplying it, it's just too much, and so it becomes white and flaky, just like and it probably has alcohol in it. I haven't used edge control. I'm
gonna have to look at it because it get real. It got like white, like I was getting my eyebrows waxed.
Yeah, and it's. Did you put it on
unrelaxed hair
the next day? Oh, yeah.
No, I had unrelaxed.
Did you comb it through?
No, I ain't coming through. Because I had, like now, okay, I'm sitting there, boom, and you see I don't have anything on there. But I want it to be like, I want it to look like shiny and flat like that. And I put the edge control on, but don't go outside when it's cold outside because it looks good in the mirror. And then when I get to where I'm going, I'm like, why is that white? And I'm in the bathroom with brown paper towel. Yeah, water trying to thin it out. But I wanted it to look, see, I got to pull it back like that to make it look right, but it's puffy.
We use edge control that we get from our distributor.
Okay.
For people that do like it. And then you only need a little small amount of edge control. I mean,
I might have put too much.
A lot of people put too much on there, and then take a comb and comb it on your edges so it won't be caked up.
Yeah, I don't.
You need very little. People try to put a whole bunch on there and slick it back almost back here, and you're like, I don't think you need all that. You know what I mean? They do it more for natural hair. I get it because it gets puffy, but I think they're just reapplying it too much. They're putting too much on there.
Okay. So now, natural. Do you find, and you're in the ATL, do you find that there's a lot of people that are natural down there?
The thing I love about here is it's very diverse. They have a lot of everything. You're gonna see people with natural hair that's down their back, or they have a big afro, and the vitamin D in the sun helps your hair grow too. Mm-hmm. They have short hair. They have short haircuts. They have everything. So, you know what I mean? But their hair, they are going more natural. There's a lot of stylists that don't do relaxers here at all.
They're just straight, just moved away from the relaxer.
They're like, your hair is, because we can give you a silk press that looks like a relaxer. It's just that.
How long do they last, though? I need, like, throwback auntie press.
They last well until you get into some water, like with anything. If you go swimming, if you get wet in the shower, if it rains, you know what I mean? Those are things that's going to make your hair poof up. But now, I've done people that their silk press lasts till the next time they come. And that might be 3 weeks because they just don't want to come, you know what I mean? They're like, it still looks good, but they really need to come and get it shampooed and taken care of. But they don't. But they can last if you take care of it, if you wrap it up, you know what I mean? And it has to be trained.
See, throwback press. I had a press from Miss Green. Miss Green's in Youngstown, Ohio. May she rest in peace. But anybody that had a Miss Green, girl, you could go swimming. You got out the pool. That water just rolled down there. I don't know if it was because of
the grease.
Right. It just rolled on, just bubble on up. And your hair still was straight. You were like, ooh, who did that? But
we're not using grease anymore.
And that'll do. Okay.
We're definitely, their silk press lasts longer now because of the products that we use.
Okay.
So they are lasting longer. But there's a lot of maintenance that goes with natural hair. You know what I mean? We do a lot of steam treatments to add moisture and all those things. To keep it growing and flowing. But the products that we use keep your hair straight longer. Absolutely.
Okay. So natural is it, huh?
Natural is the thing. We're going back to our natural roots. So you see a lot of locks.
Uh-huh.
And by the way, if people want really, really long hair, that's one way you can get your hair to grow down to your butt.
What, locks? But how you going to unlock it? Like, can you ever unlock it?
Yeah, you can when you cut them off.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'll be like, okay, yeah, you lock me up so it could grow, but now how we going to unlock this?
Yeah, you have to just cut it. But, I mean, I like the locks because that's what, for me, I was thinking about it. I've been tugging with it. But I like to wear different hairstyles.
See, and that's me, yeah.
So you can go to and get you can get extensions that look like locks. You know what I mean? Instead of
I remember
actually locking your hair.
I remember my daughter cut hers off, and then she went and got the extension because she wanted to change it up on one of braids, and then now she has the lock extensions. Mm-hmm. All right, now look, since we got that out there as far as like preserving your edges, so what are y'all doing down there in the ATL with during this time COVID and hair? How is it working for you guys?
They are back. Salons are open.
Okay.
Just like they are there. They're open.
Are they open here? I'm chilling.
Oh, yeah. I was working at Imaginations before I left. So
okay.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you was on where I seen you last was on the north side.
Closed that. She closed that.
Okay.
Last June, I want to say.
Okay.
Then I was just working my other job, and then like December I went to Imaginations, but then I knew I was leaving. I just got here. I just got back to Atlanta in April. I mean, the end of March.
Okay, so how's it working there?
My friend does hair. They have either they work in a salon or like my daughter goes to a salon.
Okay.
You gotta basically, and what we did in Ohio was we would wear masks. They have to wear a mask. We put on those things that you protect yourself from the rain, ponchos.
Okay.
You'll go to Family Dollar and put those on because they're disposable. Or you just have to make sure you got Lysol, wipe everything down. You got to make sure if you want to, transfer your cape from client to client. And it can't be like,
Well, that's what we did. That's what we did anyway with the capes. But you wore the ponchos so that you were in contact with them.
Ponchos on it, it's thrown away.
Okay. Okay.
So but my niece does it at home. She does hair at home too. She has her salon set up there, and she has chairs. And she got her, everything is a salon set up, and she might have like 3 people at one time. Not too many people in there. So that's what I've been seeing them do. And so now, like I told you earlier, I just got hired. I just got hired with a company called Clip and Whip, where you go to people's houses and provide services, various services, makeup, lashes, all things.
Oh,
and
okay,
it's 1-on-1.
Yeah, it's 1-on-1 for that person. But if you're going into somebody's home, how do they know that you're not carrying it or a carrier?
They don't. So I'm sure that, and so I haven't started yet, but I can guarantee that we'll probably have to take our temperatures, like you have to do it any other place. Like nail salons, screening. Take a temperature to make sure, to make sure that you're good,
Okay.
But that's what they're asking for. People want you to come do their makeup at home. People want you to come do, and it's more so just because they want. It's trendy. What I'm thinking, because there's salons open everywhere, unless they're afraid of COVID. But there's a lot of people that they want people to come to their house because they don't want to go out.
That's what I mean. I was gonna say it will work, especially if I got somewhere to go. You know how easy that would have been. I'd be like, hey, ever come through? I came over there. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But so trendy, I can see that. But I was wondering, like, if well, I guess you can kind of track who you're around. If you do contract it, it's easier to say, okay, well, this person was at my house, so let me call them to make sure that they're okay, versus going into a salon. Because even like the nail places, like you said, they're open again. And I'm not trying to be funny. The ones that I saw, they had like the little shield, and it was, I'm squared in. However, air floats. Mm-hmm. So it could just breathe. If I could smell your fart, I'm sure COVID is up in there. I mean, that's
what I feel like anyway. So I feel like everything is open anyway. If you go to the store, if you're going anywhere, I mean, there's a chance you're gonna get it. So a lot of people right now are getting vaccinated. They're getting vaccines. Okay. So they're trying to protect themselves. You know what I mean? But Atlanta's wide open. They don't really. I mean, you can wear a mask going in the restaurant, but then you take it off. I don't even understand the logic at all. You understand what I'm saying? I think it all doesn't make sense. I don't get any of it. I don't get it.
So I'm coming in here right next to you with my mask off, but I'm going to put it right back on after I finish eating. So I guess what is it called? The what and whip? Clip and whip?
Clip and whip.
Yeah, see, that might, now I get it. That might work for me. Now, there was a time where you couldn't be a licensed cosmetologist and do hair in your home unless your salon was in a part of your home and you had to have 2 exits. Is that still, does that still stand?
It's supposed to be like that. I haven't really checked that out lately. You know what I mean? But there's supposed to be an separate entrance into your salon. And it's supposed to be, state board has to come and approve everything. But you still need insurance in your home like you do in the salon. Okay. Just in case anything happens. You know what I mean? So that's what's going on.
Okay. We got 3 minutes, and let me hurry up and get this out. Okay. The Clip and Whip, that's like a mobile.
It's a company that has, they provide. They provide. They find your clientele for you, so they market you on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Now, Instagram is huge here. Like when people meet you, they ask for your Instagram immediately.
I better get it going with the Instagram then.
Yeah, they don't ask you for a card. Like I'm going to make business cards because I have a website that I'm making too. But you can give them business cards, of course. But they ask you, what's your Instagram right now? Like, what's your Instagram? And they want to look at your content. So I'm making a profile now, and I get on the phone with you and want to send it to them. And then that's how they market you, Clip and Whip. And you pick the areas you want to go into.
Now, I'll be watching these movies. What about The Killer?
What killer?
The Killer. I'll be watching. You know what? See, I've been being at home. Look, I ain't trying to scare you, but I'm just saying, you going into the house. I'll be watching the Lifetime, and what else is it? Like Fatal Attraction, Crime Watch Daily. And I do that. I guess that's like my past. It happened to come up on, streaming the whole. I'm like, what? And you have people that's nuts. People be meeting folk online, and then it be like, okay, well, I'll do this. Do you take somebody with you, or is it just you? Did you ask those questions?
No, it's just you, because you really don't want to take anybody else to somebody else's home. You know what I mean? But they know where you're going.
Oh, you mean your company?
The company knows, because you have to book. They have to book through them. They can pick who they want. It's just like going through.
Oh, like or being a driver.
Like you're looking and you're like, I want her. I'm looking at her services and I want her. So they have to put a deposit down. So
okay. So they got tracking. Okay.
They're tracking us. Yeah, they're just all they're doing is getting our clientele for us. We get them 30%. We keep 70%.
Okay, so that's like a booth rent.
Yeah,
almost
1099.
A percentage. Okay.
Yeah, independent contractor.
There you go. Because, what it was, sometimes you had a booth rent or you had somebody, if you didn't have your clientele up, you had to pay them a certain amount or something like that.
Commission.
Commission, there you go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's what they do. And then they're like, if you get any tips, they're yours, of course. But they pay on the, and it's basically, it's something like that, but you're really 1099. You're not W-2.
Okay, so Atlanta is still doing it with the hair.
What? Atlanta, they are on it with the hair, the makeup, anything that makes you look like her. I want to be on Hollywood. This is the place. Like this right here. And it's always been like that. But now, with, the advancement with makeup is definitely different than it used to be. You know what I mean? And so everybody wants to look good at all times.
I remember coming down there many, many years ago. Hair was it, because the part I had got, she does celebrity hair. I can't even remember her name now, but it was way back, and it was with like Salt and Pepper and all, and she did all of their hair. And she was open. I did a walk in, and she had just got off the road, and she looked and she was like, "I want to do your hair." I said, "Okay." And then my hair was fly, and I had no idea who she was. And then, boom, I was like, okay.
Well, that's what he said. He says, this is how you start ending up maybe like doing celebrity hair and makeup, because they're requesting you to come to them. It's a lot of celebrities here, so you can pick Buckhead area. Well, my pick would definitely be Buckhead.
Oh, you would have an advantage with that. Yes,
you have an advantage. Yeah, I absolutely love the fact that, because at first I was kind of leery, like, I don't want to drive everywhere. I don't want to do that. I want to build clientele, though, so I'm going to do that. And he said we can't keep stylists, because when they build up your clientele, it's over. You know what I mean? That's what they came to do.
But hey, mission accomplished.
So it's a very good way to start out when you're here. You
know
what I mean? I think it's awesome. So I'm definitely going to do it. You know what I mean? Until I build up my clientele. It'll be a great way for me to showcase my lashes. This last class that I just took, these microblading, because I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to kind of like go over there. It's a 6-figure business, so you can't lose.
That's what I'm noticing with this hair, because like I stopped, because remember, back in the day the first bill that's removed was hair. Like you're going to get your hair done. You'd be like, I got to pay this electric bill. I ain't going to get my hair done this week. It flipped, girl. They're like, where the candle at? Because I'm getting my hair done.
No, they're getting their hair done, but they can afford it.
It flipped. Look how much their hair weave is. People pay $400 a bag.
What about those wigs? They're paying $600 for the wig itself. Then you got to pay to get it installed.
And cut. That's another fee, isn't it?
If you want it cut, usually they want their hair long, but my daughter actually buys her wig. Her wig was probably like $180. She buys her stuff. She has a job, so her wig was like $180, and then she paid $150 to get it installed.
$400.
And the girl is a young girl. And when I tell you,
making it, they doing it,
and that's the low scale.
They are doing it. These young people are doing it.
They are living in Buckhead in apartments, and they're 24 years old. Driving Benzes around. The girl that I took my last class from, she's 19.
Oh,
she taught the class, and then she also is doing body sculpting. So she's teaching that, where they're doing like, it's non-invasive liposuction. You know, everything is like, I'm telling you, it's like Hollywood. They're doing lip injections, so I'm definitely taking that class.
I know that's right. We just like, keep it up. Keep up with them. Keep up with them, Amber.
Do it? Yeah, I don't got to put it in my lip. But if you want it in yours,
I got you covered. You got to definitely come back on the show and keep us posted and let us know what else going on, because I want to know about that body sculpting thing.
I'm telling you, my friend just went to Vegas and she got it and she said, I can feel the fat like breaking up. Like they break it up and then they tell you, you know, they do, I guess they rub something on you. I don't really know the whole process. But they break up the fat and they tell you got to drink a lot of water, flush it out. Yeah, it's non-invasive. She said, I can feel it. She said, I can feel it like moving around. I was like, wow.
So what, is that like a deep tissue massage?
Basically, I think they use a machine and they just kind of rub you, you know, your certain places and they push it down, she said. You know, they push it down. I guess like towards where it would be out. Like the bottom of your body. You know.
Oh man, what they doing in your intestines? Like, let me push. Like what? Gravity.
It's huge.
Because I don't want my boobs to be pushed down.
Please don't push my boobs down. But you know they doing plastic surgery here too, so you know that's huge thing.
I heard about the BBLs. I'm new to that, but I guess they've been doing it. The Brazilian butt lifts.
Brazilian butt lifts. They doing flattening. These people's stomach look good. I can't wait to get my money up. Take mine off too, because it's a lot of stressed out skin. Basically, it's just
non-invasive.
Having a baby. That's invasive. They're really getting liposuction. They're really getting tummy tucks. But if you don't really have much, so like, you know, you're not trying to be getting cut on and going to sleep, and you just want to, you know, do something to move it around while you're working out, you know, and help. Yeah, that's non-invasive, and that's what they're doing. Absolutely. The class is like $3,500 to take. So.
It's worth it, especially especially with what they have going on now. Well, thank you so much for coming on this show, Amber. You got to keep us up on what's new. Absolutely. Let us know what these young folks is doing. 19, driving the Benz, making their own money and not depending on nobody else. I love it.
You hear me? Yes, they getting it. You know, I'm so glad. Brown skin. I love you.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you all for tuning in to Brown Skin every Monday at 4 p.m. The clear and uncut conversations about us. Until next week, people, find you, embrace you, most importantly, always, always love you. Brown Skin.